Yeah, buddy. What's up?
What's up?
From east to west. I'm the east. You're the west. I mean, west in the sense of positioning. I mean, like where you live. But also, I mean, there's kind of a Western vibe if you think about the Amazon cowboy. Am I right?
That's right.
All right. Well, welcome, Brett and Michael, and anyone else who's joining us. Maybe Kate Talk, maybe Yordi Vermeer. I don't know. We'll see who ends up showing up. But we're live on Facebook. I don't even get on Facebook, but we're on there. We're live on YouTube, on Cartology's channel. We're live on Twitter, both of our channels. We're also live on LinkedIn. And I just got a notification that we're live on LinkedIn, which is cool. So hopefully people check in.
Are we live on MySpace?
Yes, we are also live on MySpace. So the way this works, people, for anyone who's joining in, and most of you are probably new, that's just going to be my guess as we grow this thing. But you can put any comments you want in the chat. You can. There's a form. Okay, Kate is here. All right, hey Kate, what's up? You can put comments in the chat. You can put comments on a form that we leave that's on the post I put on LinkedIn. I will leave that form in the chat as well so that you have it. But we are talking about all things Amazon and really no holds bar. I mean, we could discuss whatever you want, whatever's on your mind. If you are just looking for some free advice and you don't want to pay for it, this is the place to be. If you got a really serious question you want to address and handle, but you want it done tactfully, we will also take care of that as well. But yeah, we've got a couple questions that I want to dive into, and I've got some other things that are kind of on my mind as I'm having conversations with prospects and brands out there. But I'd love to know, Brett, first, how many cows have you wrangled today?
Well, I got 3, and they're pretty young. Their ages are 8, 6, and 3. Those are the ones that I wrangle, and I'm referring to my kids.
Okay, they're not 8, 6, and 3-year-old cows. Okay, well, how are they doing?
They're doing great. They're doing
okay.
Good. Yeah. What about you? Any cows? Any wrangling of cows this morning?
Just one that I take to school. My cow is 10.
Nice.
And she is in a play this whole weekend that's called Music Man. For anyone who is not familiar with that, probably don't live in the U.S. But she's been practicing a ton for that. I don't even know how she's awake because she's pretty tired. So I will be at that play tonight and tomorrow, and then my wife and I will not be there. We'll volunteer Saturday morning, and then we'll go have a date night. So we're not going to be at every show. I mean, I got a life, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, let's jump into some of the questions. These are 2 separate questions, right, Brett?
Mm-hmm. We just got them today.
Cool. So, just so everyone knows, I have put the form in the chat on YouTube and on Facebook if you want to access that for next time. Obviously, you can just put your questions in the chat now if you wanted to. So I'm going to put this in here. I'll read it for you, and we can start talking about it. So someone said, we operate in a high fraud industry. We are plagued by INR, item not received claims each day, even though many of our items have signature required. Years ago, as long as we had signature required, we did not lose the A to Z. The policy ceases to exist anymore, is where the rest of that is. That's a tough one. I was talking with someone who is in an apparel category, and they deal with a lot of returns.
Sometimes people like 30% more, right?
They're definitely high. And I think someone in shoes would be even higher because people don't know maybe what size they're at. This could be for apparel too, but they're buying multiples and then returning one. And that can be super, super difficult. So what are your thoughts on that so far? I mean, the A to Z case, it's rare. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. You're good.
My guess is, if I'm understanding this correctly, is that they're talking about their products being shipped to an Amazon customer, and they're saying, "Hey, we didn't receive the item." Is that right?
Yep. Customers saying we did not receive the item, but they require a signature.
But doesn't Amazon showcase, like, don't they snap a photo whenever they deliver a product of where the product
sometimes
is?
Not all the times. I feel like it depends upon who is I feel like it depends upon who's delivering, but I think you're right. So there should be an additional way to say item is received, and I think that is part of the reason why they're snapping photos, is to help lessen fraud. Okay, so Kate, this was Kate's question. It sounds like yes, and still not enough to win the item not received claim. So Kate, go ahead.
No, what I always do with these, I mean, it's a customer service pain in the butt, but I used to have products that I sold that people were like, "Oh, like, I didn't receive it, or I didn't get the right item." Still Amazon forces full refund. Yeah, I mean, like, I always ask them. I say, "Hey, and usually companies do this down the road. So A to Z claims, usually you can always win if you're communicating with the customer. And I don't know the details of instances, but usually you can always win if you're doing something with the customer and you're talking with them and trying to figure out ways to make it right. So one thing, I'll back up. One thing that I always like to do is, and companies do this all the time, the customer service for regular, if you buy on their website, is like, "Hey, look at the bushes around you." Even if you think that it's fraud, just be like, "You need to look at the bushes. You need to go to your neighbors and see if that's the case, and give it 24, 48 hours." And usually that's what brands do. And this is just a high level overview. Again, I don't know the details, but and then just basically be like, "Hey, it's showing that it's delivered. We're so sorry that it hasn't," and then you kind of have to succumb to the, "Hey, let me just give you a refund." It's tough. It's tough to say. It really comes down to finding a way that works customer service wise, that will keep the customer happy, but also Amazon happy. If that makes sense.
Are you saying that when you are communicating with the customer and you can showcase that to Amazon, that then someone is more likely to win the case?
Yep.
So Kate, it would be good to know, what does customer communication look like? If you are going back and forth with the customer, what does that look like? Just keep commenting in the chat, and we can discuss that. The A to Z claims, I'm not looking at those personally. Knowing that Amazon is so refund happy, which is a great from a customer perspective, but from a brand perspective, it can be tough because it means that refunds go up. I remember that happening when I was selling, and that was maybe 6-7 years ago. I know there's so signature required. Tracking information is saying it's delivered. That's not a guarantee though, and that means that that's why Amazon's taking the pictures. It'd be good to know, Kate, as well. Are you able to ask Amazon if there was a picture delivered and reference that? I mean, I know you can't see that, but that might be an opportunity to reference it as well. So Kate says, we do try to string it out and ask them to check around when neighbors, especially maybe 2% come back and apologize, say they found it in their garage. I mean, and there's no way of really knowing if they really did find it or if they're just like, "Oh, I'm not going to get off on this fraudulent thing." It would be good to know more details about specific cases. And what I'll offer up here, Kate, is you can see the image because we ship ourselves via FedEx and they take pictures. Okay. Man, interesting. What I would say is, sounds like very specific. I don't think it's specific to your industry, but it sounds like you've got some very specific use cases. And I'll just say, I think Brett or myself would be happy to just get on a call with you, maybe walk through like, hey, what are you currently experiencing? And have you tried this? Have you tried that? I need to do a little digging to see what current options are. Um, but you are absolutely right that it is kind of part of doing business on Amazon. It would be good to know what your return rates are on Amazon. And if you're also selling on your direct to consumer site, what are your return rates there? Measure that. I can tell you that any of the brands that I work with, majority of the time, their return rates are higher on Amazon. It's kind of like people decry the 15% fee that people have to pay when they're on Amazon. Excuse me. It's really expensive. And if you're comparing that to, say, a credit card company that charges 3% for payment processing, yeah, it seems like a lot. But what you get with Amazon is not just, guaranteed payment processor. It is built-in marketing. They're spending billions of dollars, have spent trillions of dollars over the years to deliver on their promises, to get that conversion rate, which is, good direct-to-consumer site, 3%. That's really good. If you have a more expensive item, it might be 1.5%. Let's say something over $100. On Amazon, non-Prime members convert 14% of the time. So that's already almost 5 times what a direct-to-consumer site is. And those are people who do not even pay additional money for Prime shipping. Prime members convert 70% of the time. It's hard to beat. People say, "Oh, we want to take our sales off Amazon. We don't bring it to our own direct-to-consumer site." That is not possible. So there are some trade-offs. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty insane. Maybe I'll even put that in the chat. But yeah, Kate, let's reach out on LinkedIn. I know that you're on there. Feel free to reach out to Brett or myself. We can even tag team it together and talk about it. But I'd love to find a solution. And honestly, I think this would be a great situation to bring to back to the next MA and follow up on what happened. So hopefully we get a resolution there. We'll hold ourselves accountable to report back on that. But I think Kate brings up a great point that there are trade-offs to doing business on Amazon. There is going to be a higher return rate. There is going to be some things that are unfair that you have to deal with and get past. I know one of the things that helped me a lot in these kinds of situations, when I was dealing with customer service stuff, when I was running my own, site or running my own store, it was letting someone else handle customer service stuff because I would get so frustrated because I'm like, losing money on this. I'm losing money on this. The thing that I tell brands is it's better to, this is not this specific situation, but it's better to spend money on someone, meaning you refund them in full, you provide a replacement in order to prevent a negative review than it is to maybe win that specific money back. And here's why. I think it all relates back to how consumers interact with Amazon. People, let's say maybe past 10, 20 reviews, I don't know that there's a big change or increase or decrease in conversion rate based on the number of stars. Now, under 10, there's not really enough trust built up, so you're going to see conversion rates waver. If you're running a sale, all that stuff is going to factor in. But once you get past that point, the biggest thing I've seen, and Brett, you're welcome to, I'm happy to be wrong on this. I don't think I am, but I'm happy to be wrong because I'm just used to that, by now. I'm a human, so I'm going to get stuff wrong. But once you see a star rate change, a review rate change, that's when you see a dip in conversion rate. I have read and I've personally seen someone drop. It actually, the what I read was 4.5 to a 4. You can see a decrease of 50% in conversion rate. So if your product's making 50 grand a month, I mean it's one product, you see a drop from a 4.5 to 4. That could be 25 grand instantly. Changing nothing else, no media, nothing like that. So there's a big trust factor there. The other thing, though, to consider is I saw someone go from a 4.3 to a 4.2 and lose about that much in conversion. And it's because when a product is rated 4.3 to 4.7, the product looks like a 4.5. When it's rated from a 4.2 to a 3.8, it looks like a 4 because there's only so many increments in stars that they can give. So you need to think about that. If you're at a 3.8, you're benefiting from the 4. If you're at a 4.2, what can you do to increase customer satisfaction so that you do get the right kind of reviews so that it can push you over and affect your conversion rate? That's one small change that I think could have a really big impact on a lot of brands.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that? Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
I agree. No, I don't. You're not wrong at all. I don't know about those, like the actual numbers, but I've definitely seen a decrease in sales due to, like, a hit in overall reviews, in ratings, overall ratings. So yeah, I do agree with that.
What else do you agree with?
Lots of things.
I'm,
But
I'm
I'm wrong quite often. That's my wife.
you know what? I got to say this. I think being wrong is not the worst thing in the world. I mean, I eventually want to get it right, but being wrong means you have an opportunity to learn. It means that you can do better, and I am okay with that. If I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to grow, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say I'm the expert and then advise someone in an incorrect way. Obviously, Amazon is our field of expertise, so there's a lot that we've seen, and hopefully that we can advise people the wrong way. But there's also a lot of stuff that, like, I learned from you, Brett. You're like, hey, have you seen this thing? Have you seen this? There's so much to know in this industry. It can be very difficult to know everything. So here's what I said earlier. Non-prime members on Amazon convert at 14%. A great direct-to-consumer site is 3%. Prime members convert 70% of the time. Boom!
Wow.
You got it. All right. So here's another interesting one. Hey, Amazon cowboy, love your hat. How can I kick off unauthorized sellers of my branded private label product listing? All of our trademarks brands are registered and have storefronts. In brand registry, they want me to purchase my own product from the competitor before I can show them. I can validate that doing a test buy is one of the best ways to get someone kicked off your listing if it's not authentic and it doesn't match. And here's why. You have to think about this from Amazon's perspective. What do they want to be? What's their mission statement, Brett?
Customer. They want the customer experience is the biggest thing.
customer experience. Customer. I hope that's their actual mission statement.
Well,
to be the most customer-centric company in the world.
Wow, I didn't even know that was the actual mission statement.
You have to, I mean, it's longer than that, but you have talking points, when you're talking to people. So there's just things that I memorize, like those stats about conversion, but they don't want a bad customer experience. So if you can say, hey, this product that I got sucked and it was not the item that I ordered, you can bet that it's more verified. It's not just saying, oh, this person is not an authorized seller, because if you're talking about unauthorized seller only, it's going to be very difficult to get them kicked off, because Amazon sees that as a distribution issue. It is not a trademark or infringement issue. The one way that you could get an unauthorized seller kicked off your listing is if, and this was advice I got from someone who is legal counsel. So I'm not a lawyer and I cannot give anyone legal advice. Just know that. But if someone has a material different product, or there's a materially different outcome based on someone purchasing the product, it could be removed. So for instance, if someone buys a product from your site or directly from you, you offer a 5-year extended warranty. If they buy it from anyone else, that extended warranty does not qualify. If someone is selling a product that says 5-year warranty on it, but they cannot give it, that is a materially different outcome. And so you could get that person kicked off your listing. So,
wow, I just learned something. That was great. That's good advice right there.
Just talking to people, man.
Wow, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. So, but if you don't offer a warranty on a t-shirt, there's not a whole lot you can do about that. So if this is just unauthorized seller and they're maybe selling, because like the whole private label thing can be tough. If there's not an actual brand name printed on it, if there is a brand name on it, another person is not selling that exact product, then great. You can take pictures. Here's the one that's here. Here's the UPC, whatever the case might be. Here's this other product, and here's the seller. You give them the details, and you can report that as a seller. And I believe you can also report it as a customer, saying, hey, I ordered this product. It was not what I wanted. I had to do that when I was selling product. Some guy was like threatening me almost. He's like, I'm the one that created this product. And I'd been selling it on Amazon for like, 2 years. I'm like, where have you been? It's not your product that you created. A lot of people created a similar product. Mine was different. Mine had its own brand name, but he's like, I created this product. I don't know if my brand name was actually on it at that time, but it was actually a very different product, similar type product, but specs and all that stuff were different. I did a test buy, got him kicked off. I mean, the product was doing like maybe 20 grand a month or so, and he was taking about half my sales, which is really frustrating. So I did everything I could to, as a small business owner, to prove that this product was not legit, and that did get him kicked off. But if it's just a distribution thing, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I like that. I like that warranty thing. It's like, it depends on the product, obviously, but I also think it's like, are these resellers affecting your buy box? Are they coming like back and selling it for cheaper than you? If so, then you got to look at kind of like what's occurring, what's kind of sales. If you're the sole private label person of that particular product, there's a leak somewhere and people are buying it somehow. Like you might have stacked some coupons and people bought it for cheap and they're turning around and reselling it, trying to make a buck or two. So I think there's a lot of variables with that. It's, look at your energy and time. Are they affecting your buy box? If so, then, do a test buy and see if you can do that or implement something like Michael said about the warranty. That's a rad idea. But if they're not, if they're just on your listing and they're sitting there at non-FBA and they're $5 or $6 more with shipping costs, like they're just sitting there waiting for you to go out of stock, essentially, so they can pick up a couple sales here and there. So there's just a lot of variables with that question. But yeah, I think that's all good information and that's cool.
So I'm putting this information up here. If a product is materially different, i.e., do you offer warranty from you only and not from other sellers, and another person selling, you could get the product removed. Another thing to think about is Amazon publishes seller information. So if you feel like someone is infringing, there is a potential legal route that you could take. It could be sending a cease and desist letter, starting there. But also if you sell I've seen a lot of maybe, let's say food brands that sell to distributors, that's kind of built into the business. They sell to anyone. And if you don't have any kind of e-commerce policy in place, or that's a part of your agreement, they can and will sell to anyone because they're there to make a profit. They're not necessarily there to put restrictions on things. So you need to maybe talk with your distributor, get a new agreement put in place, potentially even consider, do I continue going with distributor if they're wanting to sell to parties that are undercutting me?
Yeah. And you could provide MAP policies too. So like those distributors usually send them out to their current customers. It works sometimes, but then you're able to kind of, like you said, the cease and desist, like even like truthfully, even just providing a template, and saying, hey, like we can take legal action, like that will cut it down
alone. The threat alone helps.
Yeah, that cuts it down for sure.
And if you really want to take someone to task, I think that you could. I will say this though, there is I'll have to look up the actual case, but there was a case that was taken before the Supreme Court. I want to say like maybe early 2000s. And it was, I can't remember the name of the law, so I'm not going to sound very educated, but it was a law that said when somebody buys a product, they now own that product and they can do whatever they want with that product. Meaning they could go sell it for $100 more. They could trash it, unless it's like, an American flag. You can't burn that and not, you can't do something that is technically illegal and not have some kind of punishment brought against you. But that person can do whatever they want. And that's what Amazon essentially references in that distribution cases. This person has bought the product and they have a right to do essentially whatever it is they want.
Yeah, Amazon's an open marketplace. Like if this pin, I can go on it and sell this pin if I wanted to. So yeah, that's definitely and there's like people out there that just do that. So, people used to be, I don't know if retail arbitrage is still a thing. I'm sure online arbitrage, like they just go out there and find deals and buy it and flip it on Amazon, eBay, etc. It's all kinds of craziness. I remember when I had my business, they used to sell my products on eBay. People used to sell my products on eBay for like almost double the price, but they would sell. And it's just kind of a consumer education thing. People just would find it on eBay and buy it on eBay rather than
What do you mean by
look
consumer
elsewhere.
education thing?
I think they find it somewhere and then they don't look elsewhere. So in some instances, like you might find it on eBay, or you might find it on Amazon, or you might find it Walmart.com or something like, but one of them is going to be potentially more expensive than the other or cheaper than the other. So people just, I mean, this is what I've seen in the past. I don't know. I can't speak of it now, but people kind of just go, okay, cool, buy. I'm going to buy it now. And they don't really look at, in that particular instance, they don't really look at other avenues or options to purchase that particular product. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So they're committed to that marketplace, and that's honestly why Prime members are so committed to Amazon. They don't want to go elsewhere, and so they purchase product from there. So looks like it may have been 2013 is what I'm seeing, but there's a law called the Owners' Rights Initiative, and it essentially says, first sale doctrine. That's what it's called. So it means that once a tangible copyrighted work, something with copyright in it, is sold lawfully the first time, the original copyright owner no longer has rights over that physical item. After that, the buyer can do whatever he or she wants with it, sell it again, donate it, whatever. That's why you can legally hold a yard sale or sell computers on eBay. The resale right applies only to physical items sold, not copies. So if it's a physical product, if it's a fake product, that's a different story. And then someone should not be allowed to sell that. But if it is the actual product, that first sale doctrine is what will stand. What are some? Also, and I was just going to say, I second that you said check your buy box win rate, because if you're losing the buy box 10% of the time, it's not a big issue to right now, and you have time to send a cease and desist letter. So something to consider how big of a problem it actually is for you.
Yep.
I hate saying what is new or crazy that you've seen right now on Amazon, Brett?
This week has been pretty interesting. You'll see a post on it about LinkedIn tomorrow, but Amazon's doing some funky stuff with some potential, but not all products, some products. And then my theory is that it's kind of stale old products that haven't been updated, might have some terminology that aren't supposed to be in listings. I think they're doing a sweep of and it's hindering rankings for certain products. It used to be in the top 5, now they're in like the low 30s.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's some chatter about it. It's called like a rank 32 that Amazon used to do, something like that, but where essentially like a bestseller would be like in the top spot and then move down to the 32nd spot. But what I've seen is that these are more listings that have like I said, haven't been refreshed, might have like the pipe thing in your titles that you're not supposed to, all caps in your bullet points like you're not supposed to. So I think they're doing a little sweep.
Is it certain categories or?
And I've seen it. What I've seen it in most prevalent is the beauty category right now. But I would just kind of keep an eye if anyone's seen a dip in sales. Just Amazon just wants everything to be fresh. What I mean by that is just if you got watermarks in your imagery, probably get rid of those watermarks. That's a cool banner.
That's what I've been busy doing. I love Amazon.
Yeah, that's what I've been kind of dealing with, and it just just kind of noticed it, and it's interesting. So
one of the things that I've seen is just more usage of premium A+ content, and I can say that the designs that my agencies come up with and some of the other designs that I've seen, they're incredible. really high quality. The banners across the page are wider. It's more engaging. I mean, most of the work that we're doing is on a laptop, but we have to make sure it's mobile optimized since that's where 70% of people are shopping. So I honestly haven't looked at mobile because I'm not the one that's optimizing it, but I'm curious to see what it looks like there because I think the content was already pretty full.
Is this like the unlocking? Because they've done so many just A plus content, and they got the premium.
Yeah, it basically you have to have 15 revisions
Yeah,
within a certain period of time, and so
12 months, right?
I believe so, and they are unlocking it for you. Okay, so I'm looking at some regular A plus content, which looks good. I'm gonna look at some premium A plus content, man. Premium A plus content, man. I was typing something in. But yeah, the premium A plus content is unlocked at 15. Okay, so it's still honestly, it looks very compelling on a desktop, and there is a lot of just a lot more content that's able to be here on the mobile side of things.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing some of the stuff like the things where you can hover over it. Oh, here's what it is. Instead of hovering over something on Amazon and clicking on it, you get different images per item. So there's just a lot more brand story there, a lot more explorability, which I think is really cool. So anyone who has A plus content up, try to get access to doing enough revisions to get it approved. It looks really good, and I think it's something that can help increase conversion rate. More to come, though, if we actually see an increase in conversions from that.
I'll give my a guy that I know. I think you know him too, George from the UK or Australia.
Oh yeah.
He's got some good templates of A plus content. He did a really good job on that, so I'll give him a plus. Check it out at georges.blog, I think.
Tell me what that is for real, and I'll put it in the chat.
I think it's George's dot. Look it up right now.
I know it's George's blog. Okay, yeah, you're right.
He came. He did a. What did he do? He did.
He puts together portfolios of things.
Yeah, he does a really good job. I bought his deal, the A plus content. I've given it to my clients, and they're like, "This is great." Because what the thing is with content like that, like, and if your clients have creative people already, they love to see like where is it? They love to see examples.
Yeah.
So
I got to say though, if you can do it custom, if you have if you know you can utilize a great template that works.
Oh yeah. Well, these are just examples all in one spot.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So you can like kind of pull off ideas. You're not using other people's stuff. It's just he just pulled in other A plus content that was good, that he thought was good.
Well, I've seen okay, well that's good to know. And the stuff that he's put out has been awesome. So and he's definitely on top of it. So go check out plug on George's blog.
There you go.
Today has been a day. Tomorrow will be a day. Any words of wisdom you want to leave with the peoples?
Just keep smiling. Just keep smiling.
My advice is just going to be don't over render.
Ooh.
Don't over render in real life or online.
It's like a don't overthink kind of thing, right?
It's more like a don't overdo what something looks like maybe on your listing or in like a 3D render or something like that, because when it shows up at your door and it doesn't look exactly the same, it might be people might think it's actually materially different. But also don't do it to like your face or anything too, is kind of where I was going with that.
Kate just says there's 15 versions of the same content. It's got to be 15 different per ASIN.
It's 15 updates. So it's not
separate ASINs, not a family too. One family counts as one, I think.
As a family. I'm almost positive, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, so Kate said that. Yeah. 15 revisions per ASIN. It doesn't have to be, I'm almost positive it doesn't have to be revision of the exact same content. It's just 15. I think it's 15 different edits across the board. And I think what they're going for there is they want to know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah, they want you to refresh your stuff.
And they want it to be refreshed. So the guest of today is Kate Talk. Guess what you won? You won some free time with Brett and I. I mean, you already won that. But yeah, it's you're the guest of the day because you've asked so many great questions and you're helping to inform other brands out there. It could be additional or it could be changing the same content.
Mm-hmm.
So either way works. But if you can get those edits and unlock it, super powerful. Would highly recommend. My friend, the Amazon Cowboy. You're welcome, Kate. You are a treasure, and you're beautiful, and I'm going to keep smiling because you told me to.
That's right.
All right, everybody. That's been it. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here and go home. Peace.
Bye.